Listen up.
Hi, Lucy. Hi, Kel.
The Lucy and Kel podcast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Monday podcast. And it's a very Monday to you, Luce.
Good morning. Good Monday.
Good morning. Good Monday. And it is with great pleasure that we welcome her back.
Gone,
Ladies and
but never
gentlemen,
forgotten.
boys and girls, producer Casey returns to the podcast.
Hi there. Hi, I'm very excited. I was trying to be...
Did you miss us?
I did, a lot.
Did you
especially
listen
on
to the
Friday.
show still?
I listened to the show. I was ill, so I listened around 8.
Did you listen to the podcast?
I listened to the podcast. I had to because I had to know. I still kind of work, so I still needed to kind of write the title. And I listened, and I love that you guys mentioned how sad you were without me. That was the best bit.
Yeah,
No
I was
one-
in such mourning.
No one was more sad than Lucy.
Yeah, so boring
glad.
without you.
Stuck with me and nobody else.
Yeah.
Everything's as normal. And also, of course, it's a Monday podcast, so...
Lucy's Ridiculous Footy Tips.
Now, we didn't have a Thursday podcast last week because Lucy was away looking after her darling daughter, Shiloh, with gastro. But she did throw her footy tips in, and safe to say, she's losing again. So
And Casey's winning again.
Casey is winning again, and that really makes Lucy love life.
What are you doing?
She's just staring at me with her arms crossed.
What are you doing? How are you rigging
You
this?
just don't pick the favourites just because the majority of the world wants to be like, crows.
Okay,
Nah.
then all seriousness.
Yeah.
So you're not picking the favourites.
I know.
How do you know which ones to pick? The ones that are close to being the favourite but not? Obviously you're not picking someone who's 14th on the ladder against someone who's first on the ladder.
What you do?
Any, mini, money, mo.
Well,
No,
don't say
are
that
you-
because
are you-
that's
is your husband
just
doing the tips
No,
for you?
I'm beating him in
What?
our competition with
What?
his family.
From one
Yeah.
woman to another. What a terrible question
I
to
know.
ask somebody.
He loves the footy,
Is
that's
your
why.
husband doing the footy tips because only men are good at footy
No,
tipping?
that's not it.
Horrible
No.
question.
Excuse me. Riley, we know, has that Rain Man ability where if you say, who's number 14 jersey on Carlton, he knows every player, every name, every number.
Yeah.
So I feel like Riley understands footy at a level none of us do. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think that's true. I think Casey's
Hey, has
doing...
Riley ever been on a fight on the football field?
You need some context.
Okay, so on the weekend, long story short, I was having one of those hypothetical questions where I was like, Kel, would you, if someone came after me, would you fight them? What would you do? Are you a pacifier? And we're having a long chat about what Kel would do. And then I asked Kel, I said, have you ever punched someone? Because I've never asked Kel that.
Yeah.
And Kel said when he was a very young boy in footy teams, it was sometimes a bit rough. And I was
We'd fight every weekend.
shocked.
It was so much fun.
And then he said, I bet Riley has had a fist or two on the footy field. And I was like, no, not my Riley.
Has Riley ever been in a fight?
Well, he's not started one
No.
since I've been with him and watched him for the past 3 years. If he's ever in one, he's getting the guy, his team member,
'Cause he's
out
a
or
good
trying
man.
to stop the fight.
Right.
Or he'll keep playing and the fight will be on the
He'll
end
sneak
of
the
the
ball.
field.
He'll sneak the ball and get a goal while everyone
Okay.
else is fighting.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Exactly what I
He
thought.
likes to end it.
He's
not start it.
perfect. Knew it.
It was a different time when I was playing football. I'm not playing football professionally as Riley does. He doesn't want to get suspended and not
Yeah.
get paid.
Yep.
No, I know he's the A
I
player.
He gets paid.
I was hanging out with a bunch of other guys that maybe weren't the greatest influence on me. But
Yeah.
I will say this, you learn a lot about yourself when you get punched in the face.
I've never been punched.
That's like
in the
white
face.
line fever.
You do get it. You do learn a lot about yourself and
What do you
how you
learn?
operate. Well, no one, I'm sure everyone just wonders what it's like to be in a real fight.
No,
No?
not women.
I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish that I was in a fight or I was involved in an earthquake or a volcanic explosion, but I
yeah.
have like a little bubble. I just want to experience what that all feels like. The danger of being in a fight or doing something risky.
I've
I
never
think-
not
getting
want
No,
that more
no,
than anything ever.
Sort of.
I want that.
Sort of. I think you would sort of agree because you do have a lot of hypotheticals about end of the world scenarios and how you'd be in them. I think everyone always wonders what they'd be like.
Yeah, I'd give up straight away. I'd be
No,
like, if
you
there were zombies,
wouldn't.
I'd be like, take me. I can't
No,
do this. It's too
you
stressful.
wouldn't.
Take me.
I'm just too stressful.
You wouldn't.
I would.
You'd be a hot zombie.
You'd find something inside of yourself.
To
I
live
said
for?
you'd learn something about yourself.
All right.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just
anyway.
don't think I'm very brave.
Well, you
at
don't
all.
know. You got to think
Yeah.
about these things. You
not
don't think
brave.
so. The boat is sinking. We're in the middle of the ocean.
Oh,
Okay.
well, it's been a nice life.
You just go down to the buffet. Just a few last things from the
Oh, yeah.
buffet
Yeah,
before the
I
boat
know.
goes
It's just
under.
too stressful.
She doesn't like
not-
thinking
I don't
about
like even
that.
talking about this. Yuck, I feel
All right.
sick. It
Anyway.
scares me. I'm scared. I'm a scaredy cat.
Couldn't talk about Michael Painter a lot on the show today. This is the Michael Painter bit with Lucy Holmes.
If you don't know who he is, go Google him. He is a singer, songwriter, performer. He's been a great friend of our radio station for 20 years. He played Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar. He's been touring with Icehouse for 15 years. He tours with Jimmy Barnes. He tours with everybody. He's about to play John Farnham in the John Farnham musical later this year. His parents, Rick and Marcy Painter, are pastors of a great church down the peninsula where Michael goes. He's a dad. He's got a beautiful wife, 3 girls, but he is the most gifted singer in this country. There is not a greater singer in Australia than Michael, and I will say that. And so he's done a bit of a tour. We were guests of his, which was very lovely. And he was absolutely extraordinary, singing John Farnham songs, sang some Icehouse, sang some Sia. Oh, he sang Chandelier, and it was just extraordinary. He was brilliant. Because he is a friend, I want to support my friend. I went and bought a T-shirt, and I went and bought my mum a T-shirt. My mum loves him.
Yeah.
And it was just an incredible night. Was the highlight when he came out and did his bows and he waved to the audience and then he spotted me and gave me a special wave and the audience turned to say, why is he waving at that girl? Was I like, I feel pretty cool? No. Yeah. Didn't mean anything to me.
He's not making it easy for me.
No.
He's great. He's a lovely guy.
He's jolly.
Great.
Guy,
As she
he's
flutters
like
her eyelids, he's
that's
the
ridiculous.
best.
Stop it. He is like a brother, and he's always been kind to me over the 20 years we've known each other. And we've always championed his career here. So I think he remembers the people who've championed him and given him airtime when no one else would. And so it's really lovely, I feel, to watch his star rise. When you see someone so talented finally get their dues, especially in this industry where I know so many talented people and it's always a slog, to see someone finally get recognition they deserve as a performer, me especially as a performer, it hits differently because it's a hard, thankless role sometimes, and it's nice to see good people get their flowers, is the phrase.
As your husband and Casey as Lucy's producer, I don't think she's ever talked about us this way.
That is a
Maybe
lie.
me, actually.
Oh,
Just not
Casey.
you, Kel.
Actually, maybe Casey.
Excuse me.
The Lucy and Kel podcast. Survey says.
On the weekend, one of my jobs, I had a few jobs, but one of my jobs was to inflate the tyres on both our vehicles. We have very nervous cars. We're fortunate enough to have nervous cars. They beep at us a lot. They're always upset about something.
Whenever I drive it, my girlfriends are like, how can you drive this? It's like anxiety inducing. And I'm
It's
like,
so anxious.
And I say, I love it.
Yeah.
You cannot get a ticket in this car because you cannot speed because the car freaks out. It just goes beep,
Freaks
beep,
out if
beep,
you're going
beep.
fast, freaks out if you're going slow, freaks out if you're turning left,
If you
turning
blink
right.
too long, it freaks out and says, open your eyes.
Freaks out if there's cars around it. Freaks out if cars leave and you don't leave. It's like, everyone's going. Where are you going?
So
You've got to keep up. So I may have turned off a few of the bells and whistles, but one thing I have not turned off is the fact that tyre pressure popped up on our cars across the weekend simultaneously because of the change in the weather. So we've had a couple of hot weeks and we had a cold week last week, and all of a sudden our tyre pressure has dropped through the floor.
Yeah.
Now, on any other car that wasn't as anxious as ours, it wouldn't register. Like, we wouldn't even know. But these cars know.
Yeah.
So down to the 7-Eleven I drove with my car and the 4 tyres that required inflation.
Yeah.
And I don't know if everyone's familiar with pumping up tyres on their car, but at most 7-Elevens or petrol stations, there's an area of the world in that area where there's a little machine that inflates your tyres.
Yeah.
And they're all automated now. So you choose the PSI and then you inflate your tyres and it beeps at you when it's ready. So I arrived at the 7-Eleven and did my car. And then I drove home. And then Lucy said, where have you been? I said, I've been inflating the tyres on the car. She goes, could you do mine as well? And I grabbed the keys and I drove Lucy's car down. And by the time I got down to 7-Eleven the second time, somebody had parked in the little car park space opposite the machine that inflates the tyres. To which I had no reaction. I had no reaction that someone had chosen to park, because there's a whole bank of car parks available at this particular 7-Eleven. But the one next to the machine that inflates the tyres, someone had taken that space and had obviously gotten out of the car and wandered into 7-Eleven for a Slurpee. So I parked in the area that there's no car park, but it's as close as I could get to the machine without having a car park, if that's making any sense. So there's a bank of cars all parked up, and I'm kind of adjacent to that, and I've pulled up next to the machine, but I've kind of in the thoroughfare.
Yeah.
But it's a 7-Eleven service station. There's lots of cars doing lots of things, and people can see me crouched around the tyres. They know what I'm doing. An old man walks out of 7-Eleven and hobbles, and he's hobbling in a really quick way. Like, clearly he's struggling to move because he's old.
Yeah.
He's got the newspaper under his arm, and he hobbles up to me and goes, "Terribly sorry, I've parked in your car park spot." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Oh, I shouldn't have parked next to the machine that does the air and the tyres." And I actually
You're
had
right.
a moment. No, well,
Get out! No?
it wasn't Lucy. It was me. I actually had a moment where I put my hand on this old man's shoulder and I said, "I don't think there's any rules, mate." I said, "You can park where you like." And he goes, "Oh, thank you very much for that." He said, "I'm sorry. I thought maybe it was just for people who are inflating their tyres." And of course, survey says this morning
Survey says.
is that car park next to the machine that inflates the tyres designated for only for inflating tyres?
Yes!
There's no signage.
Yes!
There's no signage.
Yes!
The girls have gone off. There's no signage.
Sorry!
There's nothing painted on the ground.
Doesn't matter!
It's a car park like any other.
No, it's not! It's the craziest thing I've ever heard!
So that car park is
You
empty.
know.
That car park is
Yes.
empty 98% of the day.
Oh my gosh, you know how to infuriate me first thing on a Monday morning.
I'm glad this old man, he would have had a heart attack.
Listen, there's plenty of parks than the one you went to.
There wasn't. There really wasn't.
Normally.
But this was chockers.
I don't care. If it's an old man, it's okay. He can park there. I'm allowing old men, old ladies, disabled.
There's no signage. There's nothing that says only people
Mums.
inflating their tyres must park here. There's nothing.
I don't care. How would you paint that on how would you even put that on a car spot?
Okay.
This is just for people. No.
So this is
there's
one-
a spot next to the thing. That's what it's there for. If you go to those places where you wash your car and there's the vacuum bits, that's for vacuuming. That's not for parking.
No one
Come
parks
on.
at a car wash, though.
Well,
Going through
no one
the-
parks in front of the air tyre thing. There are rules.
How many times have you used the air tyre thing?
I don't know how to. It scares me. I don't want to
That's
explode the thing in my
You've
face.
probably parked next to the air tyre machine
never.
without even thinking.
Not an idiot. Would never do that.
This old man was not an
Didn't
idiot.
call him an idiot. Didn't mean to say that. But I would never do. He was confused. I would never do that. That spot is for people who are in an emergency and need to go pump up their
I
tyres.
told this old man, "I don't think there's any rules, buddy. You can park where you like." And he said, "Thank you." And then he moved and got on with his day. You would have called the police.
I would not have called the police. Hear me out. But would I ever park there? No, I
Only
never
cars
would.
inflating their tyres are allowed
Yes.
to park in that
I
spot.
can't even understand.
Survey says
Survey says.
she can't even understand.
Tim's from Baronia. I'm going to read it how I think Tim texted it.
All right.
Hey, bloke, what are you talking about? Courses for pumping air. How else do you expect people to pump air if you go parking willy-nilly in random spaces? There are rules. Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
That was exactly written and read as
I don't mind
he
a hey
said.
bloke.
I like him screaming at the end of the text. I felt
I don't mind that. I successfully put air into all 4 tyres without having to park next to the machine. So I did it.
Lucky you. Jody says undoubtedly 100% Team Lucy.
Team Lucy. It's only for inflating your tyres.
Martin, sorry, Kel, that spot is just for tyre inflation. One of our local 7-Elevens actually has a separate car park for the tyre air machine, separate from all the ducking in for a Slurpee car parks. I'm with Lucy on this one.
See, I've seen that as well. And I don't know. I think that's more obnoxious. I will say it's more obnoxious to park next to the air machine when it's a solitary car park on its own in the back corner. That's obnoxious. But this was just in a bank of car parks, and the machine just happened to be on the end.
It's still the car park for the...
Very passionate.
It's ridiculous. Brett and Greendale. I'm going to read it how I think Brett texted
Okay.
it.
Do you think everyone's yelling at me?
It's definitely just for inflating tyres, Kel. That's Brett. Tim, it's common sense. You don't need a sign. Facepalm emoji.
You don't need a sign, officer. I don't need a sign.
Chris.
Signs are for losers.
Chris. Also, the blokes who are into this conversation. Chris says, morning all. No signage, no rules.
No sign. Is that one for me? No
One for
signage,
you.
no rules. It's anarchy.
I don't understand what Mark's saying. If you can deter
You're going to read
me-
it out anyway?
well, I don't know. I can read it out, but I think there's words missing, so I'm not sure he says. It's a preferred use to use air machine, so I don't know what that means.
Oh, I guess he's saying that the car park spot next to the machine ideally is for people inflating their tyres, but it's not 100% the rule and you're going to 7-Eleven jail if you park next to it. I think that's what he's saying. If I was to interpret...
7-Eleven jail is when you have to go behind the counter you know how it's all boxed in with a perspex? That's the jail part. You have to sit in there with them for 3 hours.
7-Eleven jail would be, here's a mop, there's the Slurpee machine.
Brian in Ferntree Gully goes, I wouldn't park there, but if there isn't anywhere else, I would. But I'm quick. I'm in and out.
Can I applaud Brian? Because I think Brian speaks for all of you saying there's only one way. Brian's like, yes, the car park next to the machine is only for inflating tyres unless I really need to get into 7-Eleven and then I'm parking there. I think he speaks for all of you, including Lucy this morning. Thank you for being so brutally honest about yourself, Brian. The rules apply unless it's me. That's what Brian's saying.
I like that energy.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
The Lucy and Kel podcast. You're going to love this next bit. Oh, spoiler alert.
I was out with my bestie, Yesty.
Bestie Yesty,
It was my bestie's birthday, so I took her out.
can we celebrate her without her code name? Happy birthday, Megan.
Happy birthday, Megan. Yeah, I was
One of
going to say,
the
don't
greats.
say her age, but you can say it's her birthday.
I would never say her age. I would never
So-
say a woman's age on the radio.
I took her out for a surprise. She didn't know where we were going. So I took her out to the Yarra Valley,
To a winery.
to Rochford.
Oh,
Because
really?
I'd never been there. And I'd always driven past and seen, like, you know, I know that's where they have the Day and the Greens and they have the John Farnhams.
Oh, was
and the,
Daryl Braithwaite there?
No.
Just hanging out?
And I was always like, I wonder what that's like there. So I'd booked in to go to the restaurant there, take her there as a surprise, something delicious, something yummy. We went in, had a slap-up meal. As we're leaving, it's pouring.
It wasn't great weather yesterday.
It was torrential, but it was beautiful being in there. And the guy who served us said, oh, if you'd been here yesterday, it was like sunny and stunning. And I said, yeah, but look at the view, because we could see the mountains and it
Was
was
it misty?
covered in mist. And I said, this is so atmospheric. I said, this is beautiful. And he goes, that's a great way of looking at it. But as we're driving out,
He said, you're wrong, but it's a great way of looking
as
at it.
we're driving out of the winery, we see, and it's pouring, and Megan and I are huddled under an umbrella, and we've gotten into the car. We drive past a bride having a photo shoot out in the torrential rain.
Oh, no.
Undercover next to some wine barrels. Will be a beautiful photo. And we both went, oh. And then I said the thing that everybody says, which is, the photos will be great, though.
I didn't know that was a mathematical...
It's a rule.
Right.
It's a wedding rule.
Can you go through the rule again?
But I don't know. Let me just say... No,
Say
I'll
it
tell
out
you,
loud.
the rule is this. If your wedding weather is overcast and grey, your photos will be amazing.
Now, this
Now-
isn't an old wives' tale.
No, it's a theory, but I don't know if we just say that to brides because when it's raining, they're really sad.
And
you
they're
go,
crying a
You
lot.
go, don't worry, the photos will be great. Whether they are or not, I'm not quite
Is it
sure.
the lighting?
I think so.
Is it because it's all overcast?
But then you think, wouldn't it be better to have bright lighting and sunshine for your face?
Would you
Or is that
stand
too
out?
much light?
Well, you know what you could do in that situation. The bride and the groom could stand out in the pouring rain and have a smooch. There's a great photo opportunity.
Yeah, but then your hair and makeup is ruined.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Girls will be, and their dress is ruined, and their
You said
mascara
it's
is
great.
ruined.
I'm trying to figure out why it's great.
Well, apparently it's because it's not so bright you're squinting into the sun, I guess. But you can't go stand in a field. So they're standing under like, the covered area where they have the food vans for the Rochford things. But I think it was going to be a beautiful shot. She looked beautiful, but we did feel a bit sad for
We
her.
had two separate wedding events, one where it was just you and I, and one with our family. And I believe, did we stand in front of some sort of water feature for one of those photos?
The first one, when we got married in the city at the registry office.
There we go. That's
we went
kind
and
of
stood
like-
by the water feature.
It's kind of like being in the rain.
In the city?
So the photographer had the same idea. Let's get these two as close to water as possible. Great photo.
But also on our big wedding when our family finally were there from
Yep.
America, which is why we had to put it off, the weather that day was... So it was beautiful. It was sunny. It was so windy, and we
Yep.
were meant to get married out on a cliff top.
Have you
And
seen the
so
movie Twister?
It was
It's
that.
kind of like that.
And the thing is, we were meant to be married on this cliff top with this beautiful background. We were overlooking a cliff on the ocean. It was
There was an
amazing.
archway.
An archway
It
was
was
all ready.
perfect.
And I remember getting ready for the wedding day, and my sister came over and she goes, I've just got to tell you something. And I'm like, no problem. She goes, you can't get married outside. She goes, they've said it's too dangerous, it's too gusty.
They're not insured enough to
They
have
don't want
you
you-
Mary Poppins off the cliff.
Yeah, and I just looked at her and I went, "That's fine." 'Cause I'm not a bridezilla. I went, "That's fine." I
That
said,
would have been a
"What's-"
great shot with the hair blowing in the wind and
No,
stuff.
if I had messed my hair up, it would have been Devo. I hate messy hair. Windy hair is my pet hate.
Windy
so I was
hair
like,
is your pet hate?
I hate it.
There's another
when the
question
wind
for
blows,
another day.
like even the other night, you and I went to see Michael Painter in the city, and the wind blew my hair, and I was like, "Well, it's all over now."
Imagine imagine in terrible weather with these wedding photos, imagine you're on the beach and you're looking deeply into each other's eyes because it's your day of your wedding, and then there's a lightning strike behind you. Oh, exactly, Producer Casey. I got a ooh out of Producer Casey.
You and I,
that would be amazing.
we got married on the reception centre was on the cliff top, and then when sunset happened, you and I went outside and we have photos on the cliff with the sunset behind us, and it is the most stunning
That is
photo.
beautiful. I guess you're rolling the dice when it comes to wedding day photos and the weather that you
really
get.
are.
You don't get the weather that you probably want.
Let's ask the question. Well, Casey, you and I went to Casey's wedding. It was scorching, like 50,000 degrees surface of the sun. And I remember sitting there outside because it was an outside wedding, and I was just like
Dead.
Drenched. My dress was just wet through.
Did you pass out, Casey, in the photos in the 40 degrees? Almost.
Your wedding weather. Can you confirm or deny if you have terrible weather, you get great photos? I've never actually asked. I've always said it, but I've never asked someone who said, yep, we had terrible weather and the photos are perfect because of the lighting. Let me know. Or did you have thunderstorms? Was it flooding? Did you have 50 degrees? Or maybe you want to call in and go, it was 25 and perfection.
Yeah. If it was terrible weather with your wedding, extra points if a seagull was blown into your face just at the shot.
You and I have the best photo with the seagull behind us.
We had the best seagull photos, guys.
Anyway, beautiful Kelly says, hi, Lucy, it's true. I've hired photographers for work and they always prefer overcast weather for photos. She goes, not sure about the rain, but definitely overcast is best.
All right, so it's got to be a grey, old, muggy, sort of terrible-looking day, and that's going to be the best day you could possibly hope to have wedding photos.
Yeah.
So really, if you are going to get married in the next couple of weekends and the weather's not looking great,
It's okay.
according to photographers, greatest opportunity for some great wedding photos.
Martin says, when I married my lovely wife, it was overcast. And yes, the photos are amazing. I think it's because you're not squinting at the sun.
Oh, that's a good point. My face in photographs is, can best be described as problematic. So if I wasn't squinting, that would be a bonus for me.
Rowan from Blackburn says, we got married in Perth in 2008, late November, almost guaranteed for warm, nice weather. However, it poured during the ceremony. We couldn't have photos at the beach because of the rain, but the moody weather was perfect for other photos. We had an old convertible MG as the wedding car, and it fired up for the reception. Oh.
Now that I think of it, there are about 3 different scenarios for wedding photos. There's beach, there's car, rusted out old car in the country.
It's farmyard.
There's farmyard,
Like
barn,
sitting on a
sort
farm,
of,
sitting on like a fence.
There's a bit of that.
On a truck, yeah,
If you're
hay
at the-
bale.
If you're at the beach, you're definitely on the
Oh,
pier.
there's also they're walking down the main street in the city with a tram behind you. You and I did that.
Yes,
We've got
or-
one walking down the streets of
Or
the
if
city.
you're in the country, you got to walk down a path to nowhere, like you're walking on
Dirt
your
road,
journey.
yeah. Or also graffitied alleyway. That's a good one in the
Was that
city.
just us?
That was just us. No, a lot of people do that.
Do you think brides are like, I hope we get a graffitied alleyway?
I wanted one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We went into a graffitied alleyway and did a great photo shoot.
Look, I'm
for our
glad it
wedding.
wasn't raining on that day because the smell coming out of that alleyway plus the rain wouldn't have been a great thing.
Nuala in Clyde North says, morning guys, we got married in the middle of winter. It was spectacular.
Snow. Imagine snow.
She said it was sunny though. And she goes, that random July day gives you hope for spring. It was the coldest morning recorded in 38 years. Everyone's cars frosted over and all our vendors were late for hair and makeup.
Bit chilly if you have an off-the-shoulder number.
Well, all wedding dresses are not particularly for winter
They're
weather.
not thermal.
No, they're not thermal. So women often will have that nice little, furry shawl that we'll put over our shoulders.
Bella in Clyde North joining us this morning. Good morning, Bella.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, lovely Bella.
Talking wedding photos and the weather. How did it play out for you?
Well, I had what I call picture-perfect weather.
Ooh.
It was early autumn, March 2 years ago, and the pictures turned out horrible. Couldn't even print them.
What do you mean?
So you had-
Why?
There's blue skies and sunshine.
Blue skies and sunshine.
What was wrong with the photos?
I don't know. I think the photographer tried to be a bit edgy and editorial, so we have our eyes closed. A lot of... it was horrible. Oh, it makes me want to cry.
Bella,
you know what
don't
you
cry.
could do? First of
Don't
all,
cry,
you know what
Bella.
you could do, Bella? Now, in this day and age, pop them into ChatGPT.
Oh,
say,
yeah.
put my eyes open in these photos.
Yeah.
There you go. Boom. You've got your photos done. Or do what a lot of people do. And there's no shame in this at all. I know people that have done this, reshoot your wedding photos.
Oh, really?
Yep. A very famous footballer and his gorgeous wife, Chloe Pink, AFL player. She's married to Toby. They did a photo shoot and then they would troll terribly. So she could never look at the photos without crying. So she put her wedding dress on
another day. They reshot it, and so she's got no negative attachment to those photos. So go do a new shoot, Bella. Buy yourself a dress, do a shoot with your husband. Go down a alleyway with graffiti. I highly recommend it.
Thank you, Bella.
The Lucy and Kel podcast.
Yeah, I am so pumped about this next chat, and you'll figure out why pretty quickly, like family. I saw this gentleman a couple of years ago in Phantom. He's played Jean Valjean in Les Mis on the West End. He's been on stages right around the world, but for the past several years, he's been taking those amazing performing skills into the world of AFL, which is wild and so excellent. And today he is chatting to us about the story that broke last week about working with the Western Bulldogs. We had a bit of fun with it last week. Please welcome Valjean. At last we see each other plain. Josh Pitterman, good morning.
Good morning, Lucy. Good morning, Kel. You are so showbiz.
I studied music theatre at uni, Josh, and I ended up in radio, but my heart is for theatre and Kel's heart is for AFL.
Safe to say, Josh, this is the most she's been interested in sport in quite some time.
Ever. That's very, very, very true.
Classic.
Now, we did have some fun the other day talking about this new story, you working with the Bulldogs, but at the heart of what you're doing, it's something really special and it's really important because it's around mental health. So talk to me about how these two worlds combined for you. How did it even start?
So I've been a Western Bulldogs Community Foundation ambassador for, this is my third year now, and I've just had a bit to do with the club over a number of years, and most of that is around performing at events. And there's a couple of lads at the club who, through a series of events with one of my mentors, a guy called Asher Packman, I've had a bit to do with, and they're Cody Waitman and Riley Garcia. And it was actually about 2 years ago, Riley came up to me and just said, hey, I love it when we get to catch up. I always feel like I take a nugget of wisdom. Could we do some work together? And I've been training in meditation and breath and whatever for a long time, and that's been my sort of side hustle, but just I've had a great passion for it. And so we just got to working together, and from Riley and Cody, it went to other guys at the club, girls at the club, gone to other clubs, and now across breath work and individual work, I work with players from about 8 different clubs now, AFL and AFLW. So primarily around breathwork and then mindset training, which is really philosophical, psychological and spiritual sort of wisdom, and a lot of visualization meditation.
Safe to say the AFL, starting off as the VFL and obviously the WAFL, it's come in leaps and bounds when it comes to looking after its players and making sure that they are not just high-performing athletes, but they also protected.
Yeah.
Both their emotional and their mental state. And I think mental health is talked about far more openly in the AFL now these days, even in recent events surrounding the Carlton Football Club in the last couple of weeks. Have you seen a real shift, a real openness to this, Josh?
Such an openness to it. And these guys realise that high performance isn't just physical. And really, it isn't just mental, it's emotional and it's physiological. I mean, so much of the work that I do is around nervous system regulation, and you know that if you have the capacity to create calm within your physiology, then in a chaotic game like football, you're going to make better decisions, you're going to be more focused, more present, more controlled, and the outcome of that is positively impacts yourself and the team. So they're aware of all of that, and they're aware that just getting 1% better in something like breathwork or their mindset is going to have huge implications from a positive perspective on them and their club.
You know, the week the news story broke that the Bulldogs had hired you, we have a tipping competition here on air, and the reason I tipped the Bulldogs that week, I was like, well, look, the Phantom is coaching the boys. They are going to be winners, and they won that week, so thank you for the point.
I sent the CEO a message afterwards, and I just wrote 2 words: breath works.
Yeah, it's so true, right? Look, we can all do with a better, calmer, less anxious life. And we have spoken about different kind of breath work. We have a resident psychologist who comes on the show a lot called Dr. Jodie Richardson, who's talked about breath work to us. But is there something you would recommend for maybe people listening today? They've got a stressful day, they're going into a stressful meeting, or life is just at the moment, interest rate rises and cost of living and budgets, and everyone is like up here in their chest, what's something you would recommend as someone who loves this way of living just to bring it all back down?
Quickest way to impact your physiology is through your breath. And I can give you a 30-second little technique that we can all do now.
Perfect.
That will create calm and relieve stress and a lot of surface tension immediately. What you're going to do is take a deep breath in through your nose into your belly, and then take a further sniff up into your ribs and chest. Pause for a moment, and then out of your mouth, breathe every bit of air out. And do that 2 more times for me. Nose into the belly, further breath into your ribs and chest. Pause, breathe it all out. One last time. 3 of them, and you feel infinitely more calm. You actually get a little tingle from time to time. And honestly, like, if you do that 5 times a day, it's before you go into work, maybe at a stressful moment in work, maybe after lunch, before you get home, before bed. Like, it's really easy to implement something that goes for 30 seconds. And I know people are short for time, so that is the best bang for your buck breathwork technique I can offer you.
This is all great stuff and very practical as well, Josh. But I'd love to know from your point of view, like your passion for this, did this come from the stage? Did this come because maybe you had anxiety around auditioning, or did this breathwork help with your singing? How did you discover this passion?
Great question.
For me, it was certainly that. I had a lot of performance anxiety in my 20s. I had to find a way through that because I loved performing so much, and I knew there was so much more potential in me that I wasn't accessing or expressing. And so I went into breath and meditation, and you know, that changed the course of my life, really. I got to go out on stage and be free. And I know that every athlete out there wants to play free, yet those pressures and expectations and that internal critic, and it all gets in the way of just playing freely. And, you know, guys who are football players, they forget that all they really want to do is play football. And for me, the word play always inherently has this element of freedom in it. And so for me, it was about finding techniques that would allow me to be free out there and just turn that noise of anxiety and expectation and internal pressure off. And it worked. And it works time and time again for me. And now I just go out there and express. And I just wish that for every high performer. And that's really what I'm just trying to help these guys with. I'm just, you know, as I say, we're all walking each other home. I think that's just my duty.
Before we let you go, just a couple of quick fire music theatre questions, because, guys, we've talked enough about the AFL.
You did pretty well, Liz.
I did well. I got through that. But this is what I want to know. First of all, you've played 2 of the greatest roles in theatre, obviously, Phantom and Jean Valjean. Pick a favourite. Which is the best role to play?
Phantom 8 times a week.
Yeah.
Jean Valjean just a few times a week, because it's such a marathon
yeah.
out there, and just to do it that many times, 7 times a week, is just so challenging. But I mean, they're both just so iconic and archetypal in ways. It's so hard to pick one. You know, if I said, you know, I was just feeling the best I felt in my body and my voice, I actually couldn't pick one. But maybe give me a Bring Him Home any
Bring
day
Him
of the
Home
week.
is just so iconic and just such a moment where the whole place balls. I remember when they did the world tour recently, and we had Alfie Bowe and Michael Ball on stage, and Alfie sang Bring Him Home, and watching Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne, like 20,000 people rise to their feet after Bring Him Home. You're like, one of the best songs ever written. All right, I'll let you get away with that answer. Very diplomatic. Okay, what about the one dream role you've never played yet in theatre? It might be realistic, it may not be realistic, but you go, that would be an iconic role to play. What's the one that you'd go, oh, I'd love to do that one day?
It's so funny, Lewis. I'm going to sustain the diplomacy. When I was 16 and decided I wanted to do musicals, I'd barely sung a note in my life. I wasn't interested. I was just interested in footy and cricket and tennis and whatever else. And I said to myself, my dream would be to play the Phantom and Jean Valjean and Tony in West Side Story.
And you've done it.
And, you know, across a almost 20-year career, I've been lucky enough to do that. And I know that most people in life don't get to live out all their dreams. And maybe that's why I'm getting to do what I do now. contribute an impact and be of service in different ways, because I have had the fortune of actually just living out my dreams and don't feel the need to go, what else is out there? What else? If I don't ever do a musical again, I know that I haven't left any stones unturned.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, finally, Carlton, Collingwood, Hawthorn or St Kilda? Who's your favourite out of those four?
Out of those four? That's tough. I do like watching free nature that some of those Hollywood-style players at Hawthorn play with, like The Wiz. And he gets under people's skin. He gets under my skin too at times, Ginnivan. But I just love that they're out there expressing themselves. So, yeah, I mean, I've got a soft spot for all those teams in different ways.
I am a Hawks girl. In saying that, I don't know what that really means. All I know is I have a Hawks hat, and sometimes I put that on and I don't really understand it.
You love that they're referring to them as the Hollywood Hawks.
That's the only reason
now.
I love them, yeah.
You wish they had a better colour palette.
Years ago, when I started in radio, about 20 years ago, I once on air said I didn't have a team, and the Hawks sent me a jersey and said, why don't you go for us? And I put the jersey on and went, okay.
What did you feel like when you put on brown and yellow?
I was devastated. I was like, why can't there be a hot pink team? So
Well, there actually is a hot pink team. The Suns wear a hot pink top. That should be your team.
That's it. Maybe I should.
You are sunshine.
And I'd like to retire on the Gold Coast one day. So
There we go. It's
amazing. See, always coaching. Hey, Josh, we're so thankful for you. Thank you for the great work you're doing in this place. I think that if the AFL world gets more of that beautiful side of the theatre world, which is so much about inclusion and love and support and mental health, like if we can bring all of that, which the theatre world has had in spades for decades, if we can bring that into the world of AFL, I think it's going to make AFL even better and kinder and more healthy. And we're so glad that you were doing that, Josh. Thank you so much for your time this morning. It's been a real treat.
Thanks, Lucy. Thanks, Kel.
The Lucy and Kel podcast. You're going to love this next bit. Oh, spoiler alert.
Night out on the town in the city, Michael Painter, all good, walking home
To
the car park.
We walked to the car park. We've had a great old time. We've had a lovely dinner out. It's late. We're ready for bed because we are breakfast radio hosts, and so we don't like very late nights. In fact, after the concert, I was like, should we go get like a little drink at a bar? And then we were both like, no, we just want to go home to bed.
We're both tired and we're both old.
Yes, so we go get in the car and we are driving. It's a little multi-story car park. We get to the end where we think we're just going to beep and get on the way up, but there's a car in front of us at the toll booth. Now, they're talking into the box next to the toll booth. It's not a manned car park. There's no one there. It's a disembodied voice in a box.
To set picture, it's a small red hatchback containing 4 young people.
Yeah.
And there is a young lady in the driver's seat and she's having an elevated conversation with the voice in the box.
Yes. She's getting very loud.
She's had a night on the dance floor.
Yeah.
And she just wants to go home.
Yeah, and she's shouting. And Kel and I have the windows up. And I'm saying to Kel, I wonder what's happening here. Because it says on the way in it was about $25 to park.
It says $25 to park in this car park.
Yeah.
Unless there's a major event on, and then it's $38.
Anyway,
the voice in the box is telling these young people.
Well, before you say that, they're yelling and shouting so much. I turn to Kel and I'm like, oh my goodness, there must be something going on. Like we're all going to be charged a couple of $100 or something, because then more people are running to the box and there's more shouting. And a man in a Porsche Carrera gets out and he runs over and they are shouting, and then they're running to the front of the car park and running back going, that sign doesn't say that. And I look at Kel and I'm thinking, do you know what? We've missed a sign saying it's going to be $200, and all these people are losing their mind because they thought it was going to be $25 or $38 and it's $200. And I'm starting to panic going, I can't afford $200 worth of parking.
I can see Lucy's heart rate is accelerating now. It's like she's there again.
Yeah.
So just take a breath. It's all good.
Anyway, they were yelling like they were being charged hundreds of dollars. And I thought that's interesting.
We've worked the maths out in the car and we realised that they're being asked to pay an extra $12.
Yeah. It wasn't $200. It wasn't $200 because I wound the window down and said to the Porsche man's wife, what's going on? And she turns to me, she goes, it's daylight robbery. It's charging us. And I'm waiting for her to say $100. She goes, $38. And I said to her, so $12 more than what you all thought? And she goes, yes. And I went, okay. And I wound my window back up and the shouting continued.
We remained in the car.
We were in the car. 10 minutes passes. They are still shouting at this lady.
Apparently, if I get out the car, I'm quite intimidating, apparently.
You would never get out.
I know, but I wasn't allowed to get out the car because in a later conversation you said that I'm quite intimidating. And I don't feel like I'm intimidating, but I was going to walk over at some point. We're about 15 minutes in
Kel was
here.
going to try. Yeah, we're 15 minutes in now. Kel was
And I
going
was
to
gonna be
try
like,
and.
Hi, guys.
Kel was going to try and like disarm the conversation, but I said to him, but you were like 4 times taller than everyone. They're going to think you're out for a biffo. Because suddenly behind us is another 10 cars and people are getting out of those cars and running forward going, what's going on? Then there's a group of people around the box shouting at the lady who isn't even here, and they are like, we're not leaving. And I heard them saying, we're not leaving, and no one behind us is leaving. And I'm like, I just want to go home to bed at this point. And then I said to Kel, should I get out and offer to pay everybody's $12? That's what's happening here. The $12 is why everyone's fighting. And the car in front of us with 4 kids, Kel and I both went, it's $3 each, guys. It's $3 each.
So the question we have for you this morning.
Wait.
Oh, okay, you're still there.
Yeah, well, I'm still there. So we're in the car over 20 minutes just sitting there. And then, of course, finally the kids get through. And then we let the Porsche man in front of us. And guess what? It kicks off again. And then he's shouting for about another 10 minutes. Finally, he gets through. We've been in the car now for so long. The lady behind us is fuming, getting out of a car, screaming at everybody. We get up and we just pay the full amount because we don't care. And it was $12 and it's now been nearly, 40 minutes of our life we'll never get back. And that is the end of that part of the story. But we did have a question.
The question is, was that worth $12? That's our survey says this morning.
Survey says.
Is all of that Lucy just described, was it worth $12? It's the principle, some would say. The small man wearing a scarf who hopped out of his $350,000 Porsche thought it was worth the argument for $12.
Yeah.
The children, basically, young kids, young teenagers in their hatchback, all thought 20 minutes yelling into a box with a poor lady who's only making $6 an hour.
Yeah.
They all thought it was worth the $12.
Yeah.
Lucy and I did not.
No, we did not.
We were tired and we just wanted to go home.
Yeah. As Debbie goes, sometimes the principle just isn't worth it.
I agree. Sometimes it's just $12. Now, for the uni kids, maybe that's their last $12 for the month. I don't know. But for the guy in the $250,000 Porsche, maybe he can spot the $12.
Demetha texted in and said, yes, it's worth the $12, but only if you're not holding up other people.
Yes,
There
they
was
didn't seem
around
to...
now 10 cars behind us for 40 minutes.
They seem to think we were all in
it
the
together.
same team.
I was not. Janelle said, if after questioning the price and it not changing, I would have just paid it, then written to the car park and complained.
Now, this is what we're calling our Producer Casey protocol. Producer Casey said during the song, deal with it now, complain later.
Yeah. Cassandra said it's a principle, but also it's only $12. So pay and complain later. It's a Casey principle.
If it was, well, where are we, Melbourne? If it was $32, if it was
What's the number?
$112,
Yeah.
what's the number?
Yeah,
where the
what's the
principle
number?
becomes the principle.
Vanessa said it's not worth it. Sounds like some adults threw a tantrum and got their own way.
Well, it took them a while to get their own way. This lady, the little voice in the box, was very insistent
Yeah.
that the rules are the rules.
B says, Team Lucy and Kel, some things you just got to let go.
Let it go. Oh, maybe we could have started singing that. Crank
Let
that
it
out of the car.
go. Oh my gosh, that would have been so funny. Angela says, morning guys, such a shame to see people behaving in such an aggressive manner. Perhaps they should have done those breathing exercises you talked about earlier. But more seriously, if the drivers believed they were being taken advantage of financially, they could have taken up with management through complaints.
No.
Everyone could have enjoyed their night.
They much preferred yelling at the box.
Yeah.
He thought that would get them.
Haley goes, why do people have to get so angry? I understand people wanting to question and even speak to the lady in the box, but it was the way they were speaking to her. And one guy shouted, this wouldn't pass the pub test. And this poor lady didn't even understand what that meant. And it was just the way they were going about it. I don't think there's any reason to scream and abuse a woman who's literally, don't even know where that head office would be, but it was nowhere near where the car park was. And it was just stressful for everybody. Write a letter. Write a letter. And in the letter, by all means, write a firm letter and saying, I'm calling the ombudsman. Your street signage wasn't visible. Legally, it has to be visible. Do that. Don't spend 40 minutes screaming at her while there's a lady behind me crying because she can't get to her kids. Derek says, the richer, the better the car, the worse the people behave.
Now, everyone, that's a gross generalisation.
That is Derek's opinion. He's allowed to have an opinion.
It was, look, we're talking about the car park situation. We had some people in front of us locking us into the car park. If you're just joining us, they were arguing with the voice in the box over $12. And there was a gentleman who did get out of a very expensive Porsche and he wanted to save that $12.
I'm just reading out a text from Derek and he's allowed to say what he wants.
I just don't want to anger the rich people.
He said, park outside a private school at junior school pickup and you'll see.
Lucy's here for this energy.
No, wait. He said, listen, the let it go comment would have been perfect. You guys could have made them have some more common sense if you did that. You could have made them look silly through humour, and you two would be the best at that.
I don't think
it would have
these-
been better if I'd gotten out of the car dressed as Elsa and gone, let it go, just pay the $12, please. Let it go. Then we can all go home to sleep. I am sick of waiting here. I could have done a whole song and dance number.
That would have de-escalated the situation.
The Lucy and Kel podcast.
And dare I say, at the end of another very successful podcast, well podcasted, Lucy.
Thank you very much.
And great to have you back, producer Casey.
Thank you, love to be back.
Never leave again.
Okay.
On that bombshell of Casey never leaving the show ever again, does that mean we have to stick around for the show forever again?
No, I can leave.
No.
I can have time off. I can be sick, and you guys can just carry the show. Why can't I?
Does Kylie Minogue have a sidekick that she takes around?
That's a very good... You know what? Kylie Minogue's PA must be world famous.
Her PA is called Leanne.
Well, I'm your Leanne.
Great. Leanne is lovely.
Does Leanne make kissy noises to Kylie?
Probably, yeah. I think Leanne is one of Kylie's best friends.
Great.
Yeah.
That's who we are.
Is that what a PA has to be, a best friend?
Oh, if you're at the level of Kylie or Beyonce, your PA needs to be your best friend that you can hang out with 24/7, but is also so organised. But you need to be someone you adore because you're on the road together, and this person is with you every minute going, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. So you need to be besties. And often people's best friends often become their PAs as well.
Yeah, wow.
I'd just like to also point out Casey's job requirement is not to be the PA to Lucy.
Well, I wouldn't mind it after this
I
one.
said to her, if I was a millionaire, I'd just hire her to be my PA.
2 seconds.
My
We
EA,
could probably
my
make it
PA.
work. I reckon we can
Financially?
make it. I think if you want Casey to be your PA in life, I think we can make it work.
100
okay,
likes.
Thank you.
Based on what she's getting now, I'm pretty sure we can make it work. On that bombshell, it's time to wrap up the podcast. Have a great whatever rest of the day it is for you at this point in time in your life and the time-space continuum. And until we meet again...
Guys, can I tell you a bit more about Michael Pater?
No.
Well, that's all for now. But you can download more podcasts anytime or catch Lucy and Kel live weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on 89.9 The Light.
This is the end bit. This is the end bit.
Woo!
This is the end bit of the show.
And bit.